On this Silverado 2500 with the 6.6 diesel, P119D points us toward the NOx Sensor 2 side of the aftertreatment system. In plain language, the controller may be seeing that downstream NOx sensor signal fall outside the range it expects. The truck may turn on an emissions warning, may affect aftertreatment-related operation, or may simply store the code with no obvious drivability complaint. Broadly, possible fault areas can include the NOx Sensor 2 circuit or sensor, related engine and aftertreatment inputs, induction leaks, or exhaust and turbocharger issues that can skew what the sensor sees. Before chasing P119D, start with the basic system checks. Make sure the scan tool can communicate, the vehicle is in a condition where testing makes sense, and there are no obvious power, ground, or communication problems sending you down the wrong path. Then follow a structured diagnostic approach instead of jumping straight to a sensor. The first working setup for this path is ignition on, vehicle in service mode. Next, look for other codes tied to the inputs and systems that can affect this diagnosis. That includes air temperature and pressure inputs, crank and coolant information, intake and map-related sensing, vehicle speed, exhaust temperature, particulate filter differential pressure, upstream NOx sensing, EGR operation, fuel injection, and aftertreatment fuel injection. The expected result is no related DTC set. If another related code is present, check what it means first before continuing with the P119D path. If the related code check is clean, inspect the conditions that can make the NOx reading believable but misleading. Verify there is no induction system leak, and verify the exhaust and turbocharger side is not leaking, missing components, or modified. If one of those conditions is present, correct it as needed before trying to prove out the sensor. Now reproduce the operating conditions for the code. Treat the running conditions as monitor gates, not as a parts call. For this target path, communication status has to be clean for the NOx Sensor 2 module. Ignition voltage must be greater than 11 volts. NOx Sensor 2 heater mode must be allowed, and NOx Sensor 2 supply voltage must be greater than 10.8 volts. In the shared monitor gates, also watch for the engine idling for greater than 180 seconds before ignition off. Exhaust gas temperature sensor 3 in the -7 to 400 degrees Celsius, 19 to 752 degrees Fahrenheit range. Particulate filter regeneration inactive for greater than 5 minutes. And NOx Sensor 1-2 supply voltage greater than 10.8 volts. Once the required gates are met, the monitor runs continuously. You can also use the captured operating conditions from when the fault stored. The setting logic is straightforward. P119D sets when NOx Sensor 2 is not within a calibrated range for greater than 2 seconds. If you operate the vehicle under those conditions and the DTC does not reset, that path is all okay at that point. If P119D does reset after the related code check is clean, and the induction, exhaust, and turbocharger checks are clean, the procedure calls for replacing B195B, nitrogen oxide sensor 2. After that repair, run the scan tool, reductant system malfunction warning service bay test, and verify the test passes. If the test does not pass, stop this path and diagnose the codes indicated by that failed test result instead. If the test passes, that portion of the repair checks out as all okay. Keep the repair verification separate from the category testing. After completing the repair, verify the repair and confirm the code stays gone. One more note, only when the driver information message says Service Emission System or Service Exhaust Fluid System, perform the scan tool reductant system tamper warning service bay test. That procedure clears the driver information message for the applicable system. The key on P119D is not to condemn the downstream NOx sensor until the related codes, air leaks, exhaust leaks, missing components, and modifications are ruled out. Once the monitor conditions are met, either the code stays gone or the path leads you to NOx Sensor 2, and then a proper service bay test and repair verification. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.